being good, I'm a bad bitch. I'm sick of motherfuckers trying to tell me how to live. Rap hoes hate under my pictures on the gram. Bitch, you better hope I never run across your man. In the mall with him, I'ma have a ball with him. Somebody call Rihanna, I'ma buy some draws with him. He fucking with the stallion cause he in the wild women.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Mo, aka Bro, and I'm back with another video. You know what it is, you know what we do, you know what it's about. As you guys have seen from the title, this video is very different from what I usually do. I don't really talk about serious topics, but I feel like this is a topic I have to talk about because this is my journey and what I've been through in the last year. Oh no, what I've been through like in the last 7 years, but what I got diagnosed earlier this year. So the journey to where I am now. I think the first thing, in fact, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. And I'm doing this video not for pity, not for sympathy, none of that. I'm strictly doing this video because I feel like I need to raise awareness for this disease. A lot of people might have it and not know that they have it, and I think that's why I'm doing this video, to be an example to others, as well as just telling you my story, bringing you a bit more into my life. So I think the first thing I should start off is, what is PCOS? PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome, which in short terms, so I'm looking at my phone to remember like my key points. In short terms, basically is a reproductive problem that affects how your ovaries work. So women with PCOS basically have higher levels of male hormones than female hormones, and this causes an imbalance in the ovaries. And let me start with like the symptoms, and then I'll go into like the symptoms I had that forced me to go to the doctor, the diagnosis, the treatment, and everything I went through in my journey. So the symptoms of PCOS are irregular periods or no periods at all, excess androgen, which is the male hormone, elevated levels of male hormones, polycystic ovaries, which is when your ovaries are either enlarged or they have little sacs of fluid, which are actually eggs that didn't develop, that are turned into sacs of fluid. Other like symptoms that are not too scientific are infertility, gestational diabetes, miscarriage or premature birth, metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, sleep apnea, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, abnormal uterine bleeding, and ovarian cancer. So what I personally went through is I basically have had irregular periods all my life, but the older I've gotten, the worse it's gotten. So in the last about year, 2-3 years actually, I get my periods, if I'm lucky, twice a year, and that's basically like once every 6 months. If you don't know, you're supposed to get a period once every 4 months. So once every month. What am I talking about? You're supposed to get a period once every month. So it never was always like that. At first it was like 7 times a year, then went down to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The weight gain and obesity, I suffer from that. Anxiety and depression, I have suffered from that. So those are like the major things that, and sleep apnea / sleeping problems. So those are like the major things that I had that forced me to go to the doctors, and this is basically what happened. So now I can be a bit more relaxed. I've got through all the scientific stuff, so now I'm not a doctor, so don't do your research on your own as well. So in March 2020, I was in Nigeria because of COVID and lockdown and all of that. So I was, me and my mum were just talking, and yeah, we were just like, you know what, let's go get this checked out, whatever. So we went to the hospital, and what the hell is my problem? yeah, we went to the hospital, and the first thing that that happened was told the doctor like what I'm going through. He was like, you probably have polycystic ovarian syndrome. I didn't know what it was, but it was, let's go do the tests. So you do blood work to find out your insulin levels, because people with PCOS have high insulin. That's why you can get type 2 diabetes. What else? And basically high insulin is your body doesn't react to insulin, so your body doesn't break down sugars. That's why you gain weight. But yeah, I had to do that. I had to do like all the hormonal testing for like levels of hormones in my body, and all of that. Like once my result came out, it was like you have PCOS because everything matched the levels. And then next you do the ultrasound, which is where, like, if you're pregnant, if you know anyone that's pregnant, they put the jelly in your stomach, and they see your ovaries, and mine were like enlarged. So I just basically confirmed that I have PCOS. I think the hardest thing was a lot of the doctors were tried to downplay a lot of the future like implications of having PCOS, and I think that's one of the things I struggled with the most, because from just like speaking to them, they go, oh, it's no big deal, we'll give you the pill, the contraceptive pill, which a lot of people are on like just cause of contraceptive reasons, but if you have PCOS you can go on it to like just give you monthly periods basically, but it doesn't actually fix the problem. So yeah, so they were just like, oh, we'll give you the pill, you'll be good. So obviously me being me, I like to do my research on my own, and I went to Mayo Clinic to like do all my research, and the first thing that jumped out to me was the infertility. In my case, where like I only get periods 1 to 2 times a year if I'm lucky, I'm already on the alarming side of the spectrum. I would say, I call it spectrum, but alarming side where it's worrisome. I think as well because a lot of the times, like for you girls, like a lot of you will have dreams like, oh, I want to have kids, I want to have a family, but just like that just becomes that's not your reality anymore. I think that was probably the hardest thing to digest / just accept. I was very angry at first, and I've dealt with like anxiety like forever, but it's gotten worse recently. Recently, I say in the last like 2 years, and obviously this all became very heightened in like when all this was happening. So I was always stressed. I was also very, I don't even think I was sad. I was just very angry. But it's, for me, I was very angry at God, just because like that's not. It was a lot of question. It was like questioning a lot of things, like why is it me? Yeah, it was just a very hard time to say the least. I was very like withdrawn and just kind of very angry at everyone, very snappy, very like angry. You know what I mean? But I think another thing was, I've dealt with like body dysmorphia / like eating disorders for the longest. Like I've always struggled to eat in front of people. I've always struggled to just, yeah, in general, because I gain weight so easily. But it's hard because for like my whole teenage life, it hasn't been a thing where like I've never pinpointed why. Like it's just always is. Like at some point it was just like, okay, you're always gonna be the big kid, that's fine, it's cool, like deal with it. But I think on one end it was like, okay, we finally have an answer to the problem, but it was also very like it was also very like difficult, because it just is, to be fair. Yeah, I think as well it was, you have a lot of people, I had a lot of people around me telling me all the time, oh, it's gonna be okay, you don't need to worry, this, that and the other, but that's just not the case. Like, I'm not gonna say worry, because it doesn't really help anything, but it was very, you telling me it's gonna be okay, and you can't be sure it's gonna be okay. So my advice is, if you have someone around you dealing with this problem, try not to tell them it's gonna be okay. Just be there for them, because you can't cannot be sure that it's going to be okay. And around this time, I also got diagnosed with psoriasis, which is a skin disorder. All of this together was a lot because my psoriasis is more like induced by stress, so it was really prominent around this time, all around my legs, my hands. I was very stressed, so that I was dealing with that as well as dealing with this whole like polycystic ovarian syndrome. Anyway, going to the treatments for PCOS, there's so many different ways to treat it. A lot of them are pills, and the contraceptive is probably the biggest one, but I decided not to go on that journey, and the reason because the side effects of the contraceptive I don't want to embark on, the depression, the anxiety, the weight gain. I cannot be gaining weight from a sickness and gaining weight from a treatment. It doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, I decided not to embark on that journey. There's always been natural remedies to fixing PCOS or making it better. At like the whole of lockdown, I went to the gym religiously. I wasn't necessarily losing weight, I was just like getting a better lifestyle type thing. So I was going to the gym, I was boxing, which really helped with like my mental and my anger. Yeah, I started eating better, my sleep pattern was a bit better, but in terms of PCOS in itself, that didn't really help. What I decided to do in terms of treatment is, I cannot remember the name of this pill. If I'm able to get it, I will put it on the screen. But I take a pill like once every 3 months just to have my period. But it makes it very painful is not the right word. Like, it's crippling. I'm just in my bed for like a long time. It's really bad. So right now I haven't done that, and I don't think I will do that. I'm trying to find the solution to what works best for me as an individual, and I think do that as well. Talk to your GP, talk to your doctors to find out what is best for you and like what will benefit you. If you're not worried about the mental side effects and stuff like that, go on the contraceptive. If you're not worried about the weight gain, go on the contraceptive, because some people with PCOS have like hair growth problems and stuff like that, but that's just not really my situation. My situation is more the weight gain, and for me, like I'm not mentally at a point where if I get any bigger than what I am now, I will not be happy. Like, I'm already struggling as an individual the way I look, so you always have to, you know, be prepared for the side effects. And I think as well, you need to balance out what is a priority to you. I think with my girls like that are bigger with PCOS, that are like worried about dating and stuff like that, I think you have to accept yourself first before you can, because realistically, if you kind of accept yourself, you're not going to allow someone to love you for who you are. So go on like a whole journey where you just begin to appreciate yourself for what you, like who you are. There's a lot more to you than your looks. There's a lot more to you than what meets the eye, and that's what you're gonna come to, you know, realize in this journey. I'm not saying I'm there, definitely not there, but it makes it a lot easier to, you know, date and get to know people, because you're gonna be at a point where if someone doesn't like the way you look, it wouldn't bother you. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of my biggest problems, is you're always on edge about what are people thinking, or how do I look? And especially when, if in my case, all my friends have banging bodies, very skinny, so you're always like, I'm the bigger friend, and that's where you're gonna have an issue. Just try and find a space and a place where you can appreciate your body, appreciate your looks, and realize that no matter how you look outside, you're a beautiful person inside. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, if you're in this situation, I hope this video has helped a little bit. I hope this video has shown you that there's someone else out there like you. there's someone else dealing with what you're dealing with. You're not alone in this journey. If you ever want to like just shoot me a DM, if you ever just want to send me a DM and talk, I'm always available, or Snapchat, don't really mind, and just talk about what you're going through. Again, this video is not for sympathy, it's not for anyone to feel bad for me. I'm at a point where I've kind of just accepted where I am. If you need to talk to a therapist, talk to a therapist. And another thing is that I've missed out is one thing that was very hard on me was, in the back of my mind, you're always thinking, like, my dream was to have a family, have 6 children, give my parents grandchildren, and when you're told about this, the hardest thing is you are like, maybe I can't do that for my parents, you know, maybe I can't date someone or marry someone because I can't give them kids, but there's always ways around it. My doctor did say if whenever I'm ready to get pregnant, they can just put me on this there's IVF, there's different things that can get you to get you your children, so don't be too worried about everything. Worrying doesn't really help your situation, but I know it can be a lot, so I would say talk to a professional, talk to someone else who is going through what you're going through. It might not be easy to talk to your friends because, trust me, it's very hard for people to understand, but there's always somewhere like you. There's always someone out there like you, like me. I'm a sister, and if you're a sister as well, you can always just talk to someone that's going through what you're going through, and I promise you that it's all going to be okay. I actually was meant to drop this video in September, which is actually Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome Awareness Month, but I wasn't too sure, like I was ready to put all of this out there, but it's okay because this is all about raising awareness and helping someone else out there. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Yeah, and please make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at __o.mo, and follow me on add me up on Snapchat, Monica_o, and I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.